YouTube, what it do? It's your guy CJ, back with another video, back with another episode of the CJ Wilkins YouTube channel. Also, the Be a Man podcast affiliate. We are in season 11 right now. And thank y'all so much for just like supporting my channel and watching my content and just being awesome. I really appreciate that, and it really means a lot to me, man. I want to do an episode today, man, about the importance of never taking things in life personal. I think, and I can speak for myself, man, I used to be someone who took everything personally. I mean, it didn't matter if it was like, you know, a job, girlfriend, family, friends, you know. It used to be so bad, man, I would play video games online. And you know, like, if I'm getting beat really bad in a particular game, you know, I would really I would take personally like that someone was talking trash to me online, like on Xbox or beating me like in a video game or something like that, right? Just to give you context and background. But I really came to the realization at some point, and this is about maybe 7 or 8 years ago when I came to this realization. Everybody has their own shit going on. Everyone has their own drama, their own inner turmoil, their own variation of a battle that's going on in their lives at any given particular time, right? So, in theory, people really don't have the time or the energy to really like make your life, for you to take personally anything that people do. Yeah, like people don't have the time, the energy, the bandwidth to really spend a lot of time fixated on you and your problems or what you have going on, right? And the reason why I can say back when I was a person who really was inflamed or like embattled with always caring about the things to the point to where it would really make me take things personal is because I would internalize everything to such a degree to where I thought that everything was a personal attack, right? And you know, but through time and through just age and living and, you know, gaining experience and becoming more in tuned, and, you know, I always recommend therapy and counseling and things like that, right? You quickly come to discover that everything in life truly happens for you. Nothing really ever happens to you, you know? Even things that are unfavorable, even when things occur that may not be in the moment the most ideal type, you know, circumstance or situation for you, everything is really happening for your betterment in some way, shape, form, or fashion, even if you can't see it, you know? And it's important that you know that. It's so important that you know that there are no mistakes in the universe, right? I always say, people make mistakes, God don't, right? And if you know that there's no such thing as something occurring in your life that isn't part of the grand scheme, that isn't part of the overall plan for your life, you know? So I really want to send this out to people who are experiencing life, or you may be in a season to where you feel like life is happening to you, you know. You may be in a season of loss right now where, you know, you've been laid off or you've been fired from a job. You're going through a tough season in your marriage or your relationship, you know. You're having family battles, and, you know, you're having issues with your siblings or your parents, or, you know, you're having fallouts with your friends or your former best friends or people that you used to be really close with. You know, people starting to act weird or funny towards you. You may be going through an eviction right now, or You may be going through a foreclosure on your home, you know. We are right now living in an all-time bad economy, right? And it's not a new thing, so I'm not going to make this a political thing and say that this is all due to one administration versus the other. We've been in a depression for 3.5 years now. And now the country is starting to see the brunt end of it with inflation and rent price and everything. People being like laid off in insane like numbers. But even when those things occur, never take it personally. Another reason why you never want to take things personal, and this was something that was mind-blowing to me when I first discovered, when you, especially as it pertains to things people do, right? Now, when it comes to things that systems may do, like, like I remember last fall, 2025, when they made the temporary cut the SNAP and food stamp benefits, and people weren't getting their food stamps and stuff, that's a system that affected a lot of people once they were no longer able to give food stamps for a week or like a month or whatever, because you don't think about like how long 2 weeks is of not having food assistance is, unless you're a person who doesn't have accessibility to food, But people had to go through that. People had to deal with that. That was a real life occurrence that took place, But as it pertains to things that people do, right? As it pertains to things that one human being can do to another. The reason why you never take it personal is because when you take things personal, you don't realize energetically and vibrationally how much power you give other people. You get laid off from a job. It don't matter if you did anything to get fired or not. There's a natural feeling of failure that comes with that. There's a natural level of, dare I say, animosity that may develop about said people involved, with you now not being able to be in a position to pay your bills or take care of yourself or earn money, But I'm here to tell you, man, there is nothing valuable, nothing worthwhile that comes from placing that much power onto other people. I don't care like how mad you get. I don't care even if you have evidence of these people being petty towards you, hateful towards you, vindictive towards you, evil even towards you, purposely trying to sabotage you, because a lot of people deal with that in the workplace. There's so much like sabotage and backstabbing that goes on, and if you're a person who's ever had to deal with that, you know what I'm talking about. But even in those adverse type circumstances, you can never take it personal, right? And as a caveat to giving people power when blaming them, right, or saying that this happened because of them, or taking something personally, right? As a caveat to that, on the flip side, supreme ownership of everything in your life gives you an amount of power. This is when you reclaim your power. This is when you take back your dignity and your self-respect and the power that you possess within yourself. When you take supreme ownership of your life and everything that happens in it, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, you regain power in your life, you regain stability, you regain those tools and those items that you need to be the greatest version of yourself. Because when you are in control of your life, when you are in the driver's seat of your life, there's a level of joy that comes with that. There's a level of freedom that comes with that. There's a level of gratitude that comes with that. If you're an intentional person, if you're a soulful person, if you are a chosen one type person, right? And most people that watch my content, I don't have like a super popular channel to where like I get 100,000 views an episode or 1,000,000 views an episode. The people that watch my content are the chosen ones, and if you're watching this, you are a chosen one. I have kind of like a underground type following, so I get the people that do watch my content is always valuable because I always know that these type of messages aren't going to resonate with everyone. They're not going to like hit everyone the same way. You know what I'm saying? Right? But the people who are able to be reached by these type of messages, right? Just know that there's a reason why you're watching this video. Just know that there's a reason why you're seeing content like this in your algorithm. Like there's a reason why, right? There's a purpose for all of these things, and I'm here to tell you, you cannot take anything personal. It don't matter how they treat you, what they said to you, what they did to you. You should not take anything in this world personal. If you are a married man and your wife wakes up tomorrow morning and tell you, hey, I don't want to do this thing anymore, right? You should have enough wherewithal in the midst of the pain, the hurt, the agony of having to, like, you know, deal with someone you love walking away, or vice versa. Like, ladies, you can be with a man who can wake up tomorrow and be like, hey, I'm tired of this, I'm ready to move on, like whatever, woo, woo, woo. You know, you should have enough wherewithal in the midst of all the natural emotions and feelings to not take it personal in a way to where you blame yourself for what's going on. Alright? You gotta look at things as happening for you, not to you, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Because it's easy to take the good things that happen to us in a way to where, like, okay, I receive it this way. But when things are not favorable, when things are bad, just know that it's still working for your greatest good in some way, even if you can't see it right then, all right? So that's all I got before I start to go into my other rambles and deep dives. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, the CJ Wilkins YouTube channel, and also the Be a Man podcast on Spotify. I'll be sure to drop a link in the comments below. As always, it's your guy CJ, and I'm out. Peace.